A very warm good afternoon to all the dignitaries, teachers, and student friends. At the outset, I, Dr. Vaishali Ramgunde, heartily welcome you all in this online guest lecture on the occasion of World Wildlife Day, organized by Department of Zoology in collaboration of Environment Protection Cell Children's Cell of Sri Mathuradas Mohta College of Science. On 20th December 2013, at its 68th session, the United Nations General Assembly proclaimed 3rd March as World Wildlife Day to celebrate and raise awareness of the world's wild animals and plants. The date is the day of the signature of the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora in 1973. Since then, it has become one of the most important global annual events dedicated to wildlife. Therefore, today, the 3rd March, we all have gathered on this virtual platform to celebrate World Wildlife Day. The theme for this year is Forests and Livelihoods, Sustaining People and Planet, as a way to highlight the central role of forests, forest species, and ecosystem services in sustaining the livelihood of hundreds of millions of people globally, and particularly of indigenous and local communities with historic ties to forested and forest adjacent areas. I am profusely elated to take this opportunity to introduce speaker for today's lecture, Ms. Vaishnavi Kulkarni, Assistant Professor, Department of Biodiversity, Dr. B. N. Bandodkar College, Thane, and a young wildlife cognoscenti. Ma'am, we have been honored with your presence. I, on behalf of Mohta Science family, extend a very warm welcome to you. I feel privileged to welcome our beloved Principal, Dr. Jeevan Dontulwar, and Vice Principal, Dr. Reena Saha. Dr. Saha is also an IQAC coordinator. Welcome, sir and madam. I extend my greetings to Dr. Uma Sonparote, Head, Department of Botany, Zoology, and in charge, Environment Protection Cell of our college. Welcome, madam. I now invite Dr. Uma Sonparote to enlighten us objectives and working of Environment Protection Cell and also about Zoological Society.
Thank you, Vaishali. On behalf of Department of Zoology and Environment Protection Cell, I welcome Ms. Vaishnavi Kulkarni for the guest lecture on World Wildlife Day 2021. Under the aegis of Zoological Society, we organize educational tours, lecture series, poster competition, essay we organize different programs to celebrate science which is must to encourage scientific values in the minds of youth. Environment Protection Cell of our college is always searching for certain areas and organizing activities to involve students to make them aware and inspire to contribute towards the sustainable environment. Guest lectures, celebration of environment days, and volunteering for the environment causes that we propose to. I would like to special mention the active participation and enthusiasm of our students in all these activities. Under the guidance of principal, vice principal, we have made it our agenda to make our college green and instill among the students the values of protecting the environment. I am sure that the students will be benefited from today's talk. I thank Ms. Vaishnavi Kulkarni for graciously accepting our invitation. With these words, I hand over the proceedings to Dr. Vaishali.
Thank you, madam. She effortlessly works in different capacities. She is inspiration to all of us and always instrumental in organizing such events. She is our dear Vice Principal, Dr. Reena Saha. I humbly invite Dr. Reena Saha to brief us about IQAC of her college. Dr. Reena Saha.
Yes, ma'am. Animals are the window to your soul and a doorway to your spiritual destiny. If you let them into your life and allow them to teach you, you will be better for it. I welcome Dr. Dontulwar, Dr. Vaishnavi, and head of the department, Dr. Unparote, and all my faculty members for this session. World Wildlife, as she has rightly said, World Wildlife is celebrated each year on March 3rd to raise the awareness of issues that impact the wildlife. Earth is home to countless species, and wildlife plays an important role in balancing the environment. It can be found in all ecosystems, deserts, rainforests, plains, and other areas. Worldwide Wildlife Day is observed to celebrate and raise the awareness of the world's wild animals and plants, and discussing the threat they are facing and the urgent need for the government, civil society, private sector actors, and individuals to add their voices and take action to help conserve wildlife and ensure its continued use is sustainable. The day also highlights the issues such as urbanization, poaching, pollution, destruction of wildlife habitat, and the way that humans can contribute to conservation efforts. The day also reminds us to the urgent need to step up the fight against wildlife crime, which has wide-ranging economic, environmental, and social impacts. So, IQSE has requested all the departments to celebrate all these important days which awaken or make the awareness among the students, among the society, so that they should realize that wild animals are less wild and more human than humans in this world. With these words, I request all the students and faculty members and those who are attending that love about any animal or bird is pure, because in that love you don't expect anything from them. With these words, I conclude here, and I request Vaishali to take the activities again.
Thank you, Madam. Honorable Principal Dr. Jeevan Dontulwar believes in taking small steps to make our college campus environment friendly. He is very much into managing and using available resources for developing environment. It's because of his lead that green cover of our college campus has tremendously increased, leading to increase in diversity of insects, butterflies, and birds. Sir, you inspire and motivate us in organizing such events whose significance should be known to today's youth. So I cordially invite Dr. Jeevan Dontulwar to interact with the participants.
Very good morning to one and all. Honorable Vice Principal of this college, Ma'am Saha, Soutparote Ma'am, HOD Zulaji, student friends, members, and chief guest to areas. This day is very important from various angles. If you just go back to the history of 2013, United Nations started celebrating 3rd March as a Wildlife Day. This is to increase the awareness among the masses about flora and fauna and its protection and conservation in order to live a sustainable life on the planet, on the earth. This year the theme is wildlife and livelihood. I want to just draw the attention of the all the viewers who have joined this program. If you go back to 1947, wherein the forest cover was 49%, and if you just go through the census of 2021, it is 21%. There is sharp decline in the percentage of forest. We, being a student of science, understand the significance of forest cover, which is essential for the balance on the earth. That is 33%. 33% forest is essential. Otherwise, that will lead to global warming, then melting of glaciers, then various diseases, If you just underline one of the figures that how many people have died because of air pollution in India, the figure goes to 25 lakhs. If you refer the Lancet journal census, 25 lakhs people have died in India because of air pollution. So if you bring forest cover to the 33%, then all the menace which are leading to environmental degradation can be stopped. But what has happened after the independence, we are living in an industrialized country, wherein because of industrialization, 27% of GDP is coming via industrialization. I would like to give you another important aspect. Without disturbing the forest cover, without leading to the extensive, cutting of trees or extensive development, even if you focus on just tourism, I think a lot of revenue can be generated. And tourism is possible if you protect wildlife. Wildlife, it doesn't mean it only includes wild animals. It includes wild animals as well as plants and trees, protection, etc. and etc. I can draw the attention of the viewers to the one of the figure. The contribution of tourism industry towards gross domestic product of India is 9.3%. And the total employment generation in India because of tourism industry is 8.1%. And as per one study, by 2022, India is going to generate 15 billion US dollars using tourism as a source of business. Because tourism is contributing in a threefold manner. First, it leads to income generation. Number two, it leads to employment generation. Number three, it increases the foreign exchange reserves, which is most important factor. That nation is called as wealthy nation, which has highest percentage of foreign exchange reserves and the gold. So as foreign visitors are visiting India, Uttar Pradesh top the list, globally America top the list. So if you increase the percentage of forest, if you protect the wildlife, if you protect wildlife, flora and fauna, that will attract tourists from across the globe, which will give an impetus to the growth of economy. So this is such a business wherein a small car driver to hotel industry, then guide, then transport industry, then vehicle industry, every industry is put to service without disturbing the environment. So there are countries like Switzerland where their main source of income is just tourism. In India, Goa generates a lot of revenue because of tourism. Then Uttarakhand, then Himachal Pradesh, then Kashmir is lagging behind owing to the terrorism. My request to the Environment Protection Cell of the Institute is that just objective of Institute is not to organize the lecture as a matter of legal formality in terms of from the angle of NAC accreditation, but to create such a workforce, to create such a student force in the institute which has an immense love and respect for the environment. Some of the students from this Mota Science, they should dedicate their lives in protecting the forest cover, in protecting the wildlife, or they should also take such a task in their hand that the environment is protected as well as employment is generated, then foreign exchange reserves are also generated, then income is generated. You are boosting the economy, you are boosting the employment scenario, you are generating foreign exchange reserve, but by protecting the environment. What happens whenever a development activity is undertaken, whenever road concretization projects are undertaken, flyovers are built, tunnels are built, it is harming extensive damage to the environment. But if there is no environment, nobody can survive on this earth. So in whatever way we can contribute for the environment protection, we should come forward to minimize, may it be pollution, what you call pollution inside the campus, pollution outside the campus. We have 38 acres of land. Can we adopt trees? Can we plant more and more trees? Can we go for honeybee cultivation? Can we go for nursery? Can we go for something else which is contributing for the environmental cause. Objective of such organizing such programs is not only just to convey something from the academic angle, but to create that kind of environment inside the institute, to create that kind of workforce in the colleges who will act as a warriors of environment. I appreciate the initiative taken by Environment Protection Cell of this institute under the dynamic leadership of Sonparate ma'am, then Saha ma'am, the Vaishali ma'am, the Karatkar ma'am, Pandey sir. This young force, this young dynamic leadership of the institute is going to organize such a programs in the interest of the masses, in the interest of humanity. You must have just seen the calamity which has caused in Uttara, in Himachal Pradesh. What happened, you could see. This is all nothing but the developmental activities are going on at such a pace that the imbalance of nature is going to occur. Because you are drilling the mountains and you are constructing tunnels, you are going for huge waterfall, hydroelectricity projects without analyzing the impact of this development. And this development is absolutely leading to the destruction. When there is such a catastrophe, there is cloudburst, such kind of things are occurring, we are disturbing the very environment. I think there is an urgent need for the government, for the non-governmental organization, for the educational institute, universities, they have to come forward with this cause of environment protection. Then only you can think of development. If there is no existence of mankind on the earth, what kind of development you are going to see on this earth? And intellects, teacher has a big responsibility to fulfill. They have to understand the significance of environment. They should themselves take lead in organizing various plantation drives inside the institute, outside the institute, their locality, then college, and wherever possible, do something positive for the cause of environment. I hope such an enlightened generation of Mohta science will serve the cause of humanity in coming days. I'm thankful to Dr. Pandey for inviting Ma'am Vaishnavi, who is teacher as well as a environmental activist. She is going to speak volumes about the environmental conservation. But we are, Nagpur is a tiger capital of India. Very close to Nagpur, there are various tiger reserves, Kanha National Park, then Pench, then these. Nagpur is a tiger capital of India, and Vidarbha is the, in Vidarbha we have more than 35 to 40% forest cover as compared to the entire Maharashtra. So Vidarbha leads by example as far as environmental protection is concerned. So I'm damn sure that the young brigade of my institute will definitely shoulder the cause of environment protection. They will minimize indoor pollution, they will minimize outdoor pollution, they will create a generation of students who will be working for the cause of environmental protection. I am extremely grateful to Environmental Protection Cell for extending this opportunity to share my ideas and views on topic of my interest, that is environmental protection. So wildlife and livelihood, they go hand in hand, because I am a native of Gadchiroli district, where there is a big tribal community. They are living in harmony with nature. They derive lot of revenue from protecting environment, by protecting trees, by protecting rivers, by protecting wild animals, by protecting domestic animals. So since childhood only we learn how to live in harmonious relationship with the nature. So I'm thankful to this EPC cell for this wonderful opportunity which is being offered to me after a long time to talk on the subject which is very close to my heart. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Vaishali ma'am, over to you.
Thank you, sir. That was indeed informative and insightful. And interesting fact file on wildlife economics. I, on behalf of Environment Protection Cell, assure you, sir, that this cell will work towards the environment sustainability by using enthusiastic young student force of our college. Moreover, your speech always gives us a great boost. Thank you once again.
No.
The primary reason to celebrate this day is to raise awareness about the importance of wildlife to humanity. So to introduce today's guest speaker, Ms. Vaishnavi Kulkarni, I would like to invite Dr. Pawan Bajpe. Dr. Pawan Bajpe.
Good afternoon. Today, on the occasion of World Wildlife Day, we have an avid researcher and teacher as our guest speaker. Her name is Ms. Vaishnavi Kulkarni. Madam originally hails from Pune. She has done her graduation in zoology from SP College, Pune, and post-graduation in biodiversity and wildlife conservation from Abba Saheb Garware College. Currently, she is working as an assistant professor in the Department of Biodiversity at Dr. B.N. Bandodkar College, Thane, and she is also a faculty member at Patki's Biology Academy. Madam is an avid researcher. In a short time, she has achieved a lot. For example, she has the distinction of having discovered a new crab species from the west coast of Maharashtra. She has worked as a project assistant at Wildlife Research and Conservation Society, Pune, and she has co-authored the first manual on owl diet and owl pellet analysis. She has been part of turtle conservation program at Vilas, Maharashtra for 4 years, and she has also represented India at World Congress on Marine Biodiversity, which was held in New Zealand in December 2020, where her presentation was on ghost crab diet and population study. I hope that at least some of our students will be inspired by Madam's research exploits to take up, to venture into the field of research in the future. And everyone is anxious to listen to Madam. So without further ado, I request Kulkarni Madam to please proceed with her presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Am I audible to all of you?
Yes, yes.
Yes,
clearly.
ma'am.
Yes. Okay. So let's begin the
Yes, ma'am, sure.
let's begin the presentation. The first thing which I wanted to ask is it okay to give my presentation in both the languages, English and Marathi?
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Yes.
Is everybody okay with Marathi? Understands Marathi very well?
Yes, ma'am. Marathi as well as English.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. I'll start with the title. I specifically put this title for my presentation because I know all of you have an idea about what is biodiversity, what is wildlife. Students also have some of its part in their curriculum, but I specifically with my presentation, I specifically have to focus on what kind of field research or what exactly the field research in biodiversity field is. And there is a story behind it. The story is basically when I introduce myself in front of my relatives or any other people, the first question they ask is, what do you do? And when I told them I am a wildlife researcher, the first thing they ask me, do you do what exactly the Bear Grylls do? The man versus wild thing, or what they do on Discovery Channel, do you exactly do that? So there is a huge misconception what exactly the field researcher of this field or from a background of wildlife and biodiversity field do on field. We don't do. Clearly, I wanted to say, and clearly I wanted to mention, we do not exactly do what Bear Grylls do, that handling the animals or recording some animals swimming with the whales. Yes, some of the researchers, they do. The researchers which work on the whales behavior or any kind of animal behavior. But very easily we cannot handle any kind of animal. So that's why I specifically put this title, that walk into the wild and focus on what kind of field research we have to do. And let's start the presentation with that. But before starting before I start telling the story of my research or what field research exactly is, I just wanted to know from the students, can you give me the idea of these concepts in your mind? What do you mean by biodiversity? What do you mean by wildlife conservation and preservation of protection? What is your idea regarding these words? Because nowadays these words are very popular, very important, and fortunately more and more people in India have started working in these fields. So can you please tell me, any one of you, what do you mean by biodiversity, or what is your idea of all these words?
Ma'am, biodiversity is the place where all the flora and fauna in a big amount or a big variety are present.
Okay.
It is used to describe
Ma'am,
the variety of animals on the earth.
What? Yeah.
biodiversity is a term used to describe the enormous variety of life on Earth. It can be used more specifically to refer to all of species in one region or ecosystem. Biodiversity refers to every living thing, including plants, bacteria, animals, and humans.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. This is what do you mean by biodiversity? Next, we'll jump to wildlife. Can you explain me, or can you tell me your idea regarding wildlife?
Wildlife is a place apart from city where the all wild animal live, and that include their habitat, the place they were live.
Okay. Regarding conservation.
Conservation, ma'am, is declared by the government or any organization to protect the wildlife. This place is known as conservation.
Okay. And then if you say conservation is protection, then what is protection or preservation?
कंजर्वेशन इज मैम रिस्ट्रिक्टेड, मतलब अगर 1 किलोमीटर के एरिया में अगर कुछ एनिमल अगर है, 1 या 10 किलोमीटर, मतलब एक बेसिक एग्जांपल दे रहा हूँ, तो
हाँ.
वो हो जाएगा कंजर्वेशन में, हो जाएगा उसका एग्जांपल.
Okay.
एंड रिस्ट्रिक्शन मैम कि वो कंप्लीटली बफर जोन आएगा, उसमें कोई भी ह्यूमन एक्टिविटीज अलाउड नहीं रहेंगी, वो रिस्ट्रिक्शन का एग्जांपल आ जाएगा मैम.
Acha. Okay. Anybody else?
Conservation is the animal which extinct from the environment. We have to conserve that animal for the future generation.
Okay. Interesting. And what is preservation or protection?
Preservation is the process. Hello.
Yeah. Yeah.
Preservation is the process in which any extinct species are stored for next generation. You can also say कि after the death of that animal, जैसा अभी काजीरंगा में कुछ ऐसे स्पीशीज है राइनो के जो कि एक्सटिंक्ट होने वाले हैं, तो एक्सटिंक्ट होने के बाद भी उसका मतलब जीनोम वगैरह जो रहेगा वो स्टोर करके रख लेंगे, तो वो प्रिजर्वेशन का इसमें पार्ट आ गया.
Okay. Okay. Very good. So all of you have a basic ideas of what these word actually means. Okay. But I just give you some additions on that, and little bit correction will do. Okay. Just to clarify these concepts regarding all these studies. So we'll start with biodiversity. Yes, those who speak regarding biodiversity or tell me the concepts of biodiversity very well, but I would say what my concept of biodiversity is and what I learned, studying biodiversity for last now 7 years. Biodiversity is basically all the living organisms which are included in biosphere. All the living organisms which are included in biosphere. Now the question comes, or frequently asked question to me is, what is biosphere? The biosphere is, as you can see in this picture, the biosphere of Earth is each and every living organism which are present in hydrosphere, which is water, atmosphere, which is air, and lithosphere, which is soil. So each and every living organism, from a microorganism to the largest mammal, the largest plant or largest tree we have, all these living things which are present on the surface of these three spheres are called are included in biosphere or are considered as a biosphere of the earth. And the biosphere of the earth is biodiversity, the variety which we found. Bio is life and diversity is variety. The variety which we found in that biosphere we called as a biodiversity. The concept wise, this is the proper explanation of biodiversity. The variety which we found, the variety of life, to be specific, the variety of life which we found on the surface of the earth, including atmosphere, hydrosphere, and lithosphere, which we called as biodiversity of the earth. Now, coming to wildlife, many times what happens is we confuse both the terms. I study biodiversity and wildlife, both are the same terms. No, biodiversity includes all the living organisms, but wildlife includes the animals or the plants which we cannot domesticate. Okay, that is what wildlife is. The plants we cannot domesticate, the animals which we cannot domesticate, that includes wildlife. They live in their habitat into the wild. That is what wildlife is. We cannot domesticate easily. We cannot domesticate zebras. The zebra is the animal which we cannot domesticate, which we are not able to domesticate till date. And there are many other examples of animals which we are not able to domesticate because of many reasons. And all those animals, all those plants which live into the wild habitat is called wildlife. Okay, so both the terms go hand in hand, but both the terms are not similar. Biodiversity also includes the domesticated animals, domesticated plants, but wildlife does not include the domesticated animals and domesticated plants. Now, next is the term called conservation. Again, same thing happened with these two terms, conservation and protection. The conservation is basically giving protection and
Hello, Vaishnavi ma'am, you are not audible. Hello.
organism is protecting that animal into that in his or her in its current state. ओके, मग त्याचा सस्टेनेबल यूज प्लॅन करायचा नाही, फक्त आणि फक्त प्रोटेक्शन द्यायचं त्याला. कन्झर्वेशन मध्ये आपण सस्टेनेबल यूज प्लॅन करतो. वी ट्राय to increase the number of that organism, but in protection we are just maintaining the current state of that particular animal. This is the basic difference of conservation and preservation. Is preserving the current state of that particular animal, and conservation means giving protection plus try to increase the number of that particular animal. These are the concepts you should understand before you start learning about biodiversity, or before you start researching in the field of biodiversity and wildlife. So these are the concepts. Okay, clear with the concepts? Shall we proceed?
Yes, ma'am.
पुढे? Okay, next is we'll directly jump to field research because there is no point going in a technical terms of biodiversity, wildlife, and all those things because all of you must know the Wildlife Acts and all those things. So we'll start with the field research thing, and while sharing my research experience with you, I will also share what exactly the field research is. So as I said earlier, many people confused a wildlife researcher with the Discovery Channel picturization, which is a big misconception. We do not do what exactly those Discovery Channel people do. We actually have to work on the field, or as my professor used to say, we give them the information to share with the people. सो जी इन्फॉर्मेशन डिस्कवरी चॅनल नरेट करत असतं ती इन्फॉर्मेशन तयार करण्याचं काम वाईल्ड लाईफ रिसर्चर किंवा बायोडायव्हर्सिटी रिसर्चर करतात आणि त्यांच्या बरोबर ते शेअर करतात. So starting with my research, how my interest developed with the biodiversity. So I remember in TY BSc zoology, it's the last year, we had a study trip, a very long study tour. Okay, like for 15 days we went to South India. So at that time, in one of the destination, I guess in Rameshwaram, we visited one of the largest marine research institute, which is in Mandapam. त्या मंडपमध्ये फर्स्ट टाइम माझा मी पहिल्यांदा पर्सनली लाईव्ह टर्टल कसं असतं ते बघितलं. आय ऍक्च्युली फील की कसा त्याची बॉडी शेप असतो, कसं टर्टल पाण्यात राहतं, because it's a huge marine research institute and they have small compartments in which they kept the turtles, small turtles, large turtles, and some turtle hatchlings. So at that time, I actually saw the turtle and I was like, yes, I wanted to do this. If not environmental science, I really like to study the animals. Cut to my first visit to Veas, my first experience of Turtle Festival, which happens in Veas, Konkan madhe darvarshi hoto. At that time, the leading person of that Turtle Festival, Mr. Mohan Upadhyay, I used to live with him at that time because I was there for like 8-10 days. I used to help them in controlling the crowd and all those things. So on first day, so the basically Turtle Festival is basically they release the turtle hatchlings into the sea. So on first day, there was a crowd of round about 250 people and they only have 3 hatchlings. So first encounter with turtle hatchling, I didn't get the good pictures, or I even didn't get to see how turtle hatchling looks. So after that, for next 8 days, there was no single hatchling. आणि जेव्हा आम्ही ठरवलं की बस आता नाही, पुढे आपल्याला जायचंय, कॉलेज आहे, सो दुसऱ्या दिवशी आपण निघूया. सो ही जस्ट आस्क अस की एक दिवस थांबा, उद्या टर्टल हॅचलिंग तुम्हाला मी दाखवतो. तर आमचं असं म्हणणं होतं. सो आय वॉज विथ माय कलीग, I was with my colleague. So at that time, मी त्याला कंडिशन घातली होती की येस ठीक आहे, थांबतो आम्ही एक दिवस, आम्हाला टर्टल हॅचलिंग दाखवायचं. ही सेड लाईक ठीक आहे, टर्टल हॅचलिंग दाखवतो. द नेक्स्ट कंडिशन वॉज आम्हाला 10 पेक्षा जास्ती टर्टल हॅचलिंग दाखवायची. सो ही वॉज लाईक ओके, 10 पेक्षा जास्ती दाखवतो. नेक्स्ट मॉर्निंग राउंड अबाउट ॲट 6:30-7 o'clock, वी रीच्ड ॲट द बीच, जिथे टर्टलची हॅचरी बांधलेली असते. We just entered into the hatchery. At that time, only 2 of us, me, my friend, and Mohan Upadhyay, 3 of us were on the beach, and we released round about 25 hatchlings at a time. And Mohan Upadhyay said, "Abhi picture click कर लो जितनी करनी है, देख लो जितना देखना है, मैं हैंडल कर दूंगा." So ये उसके बाद कुछ क्लिक हुआ यार, there is something regarding this यार, I wanted to work in this field. सो तब से ये स्टार्ट हुआ. तेव्हापासून असं झालं की येस मला हे करायचंय, मला ह्याच्यात काहीतरी रिसर्च करायचंय. सो दिस वॉज माय रिसर्च स्टोरी. And during my MSc, I got selected in Joint Forest Management Program, and then a program conducted by GIZ on the beaches of Konkan, like Anzarle, Veras, and Kelshi, for biodiversity assessment. So my first research was my first story of working with turtle conservation program is just what just I told you. Over there, we conduct that entire turtle festival. The nests are collected and ex situ conservation is going on there. So अभी इस पे अगर लेक्चर देना हो तो पूरा 1 घंटा निकल जाएगा. तो आई जस्ट से कि दिस इज अ वंडरफुल एक्सपीरियंस कि टर्टल हैचलिंग्स को अगर ये नेस्ट जो टर्टल फीमेल टर्टल ने बनाया है उसको डिस्प्लेस करके अगर एक्सी2 कंजर्वेशन करना हो तो उसके लिए क्या प्रिकॉशंस लेने पड़ते हैं टू प्रोटेक्ट दैट नेस्ट, क्या प्रिकॉशंस लेने पड़ते हैं, एंड व्हाई इट इज नेसेसरी टू कंजर्व टर्टल. I'll just give you overview of that. So why it is necessary to conserve turtle? So turtle is we can say a very important component of sea because it's a scavenger. It feeds on jellyfishes and algal depositions of depositions on coral reefs. So basically, ये cleaning का काम करता है. And day by day, the number of turtles are decreasing because number one is plastic. It confuses the turtle confuses jellyfish with the plastic and engulfs the plastic. Second thing, the shell of turtle is used for making of bulletproof jackets. Third thing, the excessive fishing and trawler accidents. Many turtles bumped on the trawler and they get killed. So once the shell is cracked, turtle is not able to survive. And the fourth thing is the robbery, the literal word, robbery of turtle eggs. There is a misconception in many villages right now also. If you had a turtle egg omelette or any form of turtle egg, you will not have cancer or it cures the cancer. Because of that, many people rob the turtle eggs after the female turtle hatches the eggs. And all the other environmental factors also. Many predators feed on turtle nest or turtle eggs like dogs or foxes. So because of this, the number of turtles suddenly reduced like in last 10 years. And also the survival rate of turtle hatchlings is very, very low. So it is 1,000:1. So when you release 1,000 hatchlings into the sea, there is a chance that only one will survive because of all the environmental factors and all the anthropological factors as well. So that's why the turtle conservation is necessary nowadays. It is happening in Veas, Maharashtra, Konkan region. It is happening at Alibag. It is happening in Puhagar. It is happening in Anzarle. It is happening in Kelshi also. So many people are working. The person, as I said, who is leading this turtle conservation program since the last 16 years is Mr. Mohan Upadhyay. He is a gem of a person. He had worked like 16 years on field, and I am very fortunate that I had an opportunity to work with him for 4 years. So this is how we conduct turtle festival. We collect the eggs of female, we put it into the protected hatchery. We after 45 to 50 days, once the hatchlings are out of the egg, we release them. We collect the hatchlings and we release them into the sea. This is what the turtle festival is. A very interesting festival. So this is how I ended up working in the field of turtle conservation. My small contribution to turtle conservation. Even two of us conduct the lecture series on turtle conservation in different regions of Maharashtra. He gives a very wonderful lecture. They have a small documentary regarding turtle conservation. So this is how I ended up working for turtle conservation. This is my first recording of turtle hatchling going into the water. Wow. The story of 25 I just shared with you is this. These are the 25 hatchlings we released at a time into the sea. The next is the story of crab. My actual research for last 4 years I'm researching on this crab. This was actually my research of my dissertation. During MSc, I started research on this crab, the first crab, which is called as Ossipod ceratophthalma, which is commonly known as ghost crab because of his swift running and this horn-like appearance on the eyes. So during this research, I had different types of field experience. So I have to do a transit studies, I have to do the quadrant studies, I have to count the crab and all the statistical analysis. Plus the timing of research or the time of field is very restricted. The first thing you should follow while doing the field research is field research in biodiversity is that you have to follow the timings, because when you are studying on the shores, especially the seashores, you have to do your calculations on the basis of high tide and low tide. It's a very risky thing, so that's why I particularly say even my students who work under me, I particularly give them a suggestions or instructions that you have to follow the times where compulsory part is by. So this research started when I was selected for a GIZ project, and I study biodiversity assessment. I give a report on biodiversity assessment of 3 beaches, Veas, Kirshi and Anzarle. So at that time, I observed the number of crabs are pretty much more on the beach of Veas comparing to the other 2 beaches. Why is that? The question arises. So I selected that topic for my dissertation. या 3ही बीचेस वरती वेगवेगळी ऍक्टिव्हिटी होती, वेगवेगळ्या टुरिस्ट ऍक्टिव्हिटी होत्या, सँड क्वालिटी जी होती ही वेगवेगळी होती. So basically, when I started researching on crab, I understand the crabs, basically these 2 crabs are ecological indicators of shore health. Seashore ची जी हेल्थ असते त्याचे इकोलॉजिकल इंडिकेटर्स असतात. जितकी जास्ती अँथ्रोपोलॉजिकल ऍक्टिव्हिटी किंवा ह्युमन ऍक्टिव्हिटी तितका क्रॅबचा नंबर कमी. यू कॅन ऑल्सो ऑब्झर्व व्हेरी स्मॉल ऑब्झर्वेशन्स आर देयर. बीचवर तुम्ही गेला असाल तर ज्या बीचवरती टुरिस्ट ऍक्टिव्हिटी जास्ती असते, बीच स्पोर्ट्स जास्ती असतात, तिकडे खूप कमी प्रमाणात हे क्रॅब दिसायला मिळतात. हेच जर बीच शांत असेल, खूप कमी ह्युमन ऍक्टिव्हिटी असते, तर इथे नंबर ऑफ क्रॅब्स हे डेफिनेटली जास्ती असतात. So while studying these crabs, I saw many behaviors. Basically या crabs मध्ये बेसिकली या क्रॅब्स मध्ये अडल्ट क्रॅबला जगून द्यायचं नाही किंवा कॉम्पिटिशन जी म्हणतो, टेरिटोरियल फाईट जी म्हणतो, ही या क्रॅब्स मध्ये सुद्धा असते. यांचे बरो बिहेवियर्स जे असतात हे वेगवेगळे असतात. अँड टू स्टडी ऑल दोज बिहेवियर्स आय हॅव टू कॅच द लो टाईड टाइम. सो दुपारची लो टाईड आणि रात्रीची लो टाईड आफ्टर 8. जर ऍक्च्युअली क्रॅब पिक्चर्स हवे असतील किंवा क्रॅब्स बघायचे असतील तर अंधार पडल्यानंतर हे क्रॅब्स बाहेर पडतात. सो अंधार पडल्यानंतर मला बीच वरती जायला लागायचं. तो ट्रान्झिट टाकायचा, त्या ट्रान्झिट वरती छोटे 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 क्वाड्रंट्स टाकायचे आणि त्या क्वाड्रंट मधला क्रॅब काउंट करायचा. यासाठी अगेन वेळ पाळणं फार गरजेचं होतं. टाईड उलटण्याच्या आधी परत येणं गरजेचं होतं. सो अगेन आय विल से की टायमिंग इज अ मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टंट थिंग इन अ फील्ड ऑफ फील्ड रिसर्च पर्टिक्युलरली. त्याच्यानंतर फील्ड इक्विपमेंट स्वतःची स्वतः. आणि अजून एक महत्वाची गोष्ट म्हणजे ज्या गावात किंवा ज्या ठिकाणी तुम्ही फील्ड रिसर्च साठी जात आहात तिथल्या लोकांशी असलेला तुमचा कॉन्टॅक्ट किंवा तिथल्या लोकांशी असलेलं तुमचं कम्युनिकेशन. यू हॅव टू रिस्पेक्ट ऑल द पीपल हू आर लोकल ओव्हर देअर. तिकडे जाऊन जर स्वतःची अक्कल तुम्ही झाडायला लागलात, लिटरल वर्ड आहे, स्वतःचं डोकं तुम्ही चालवायला लागलात, नाही मी हे शिकून आलो, मी हे करून आलोय, मला हे माहितीये, मला ते माहितीये, लोक परमिशन्स देत नाहीत काम करायला. जितकी तुम्हाला लोकल हेल्प घेता येईल तितकी जास्ती छान. कारण आपण बाहेरून तिथे जातो, ती लोक 24/7 तिथे असतात. you might get some interesting inputs which you didn't found in a literature, and it's a fact. Okay, so these things are very important. Some interesting stories, some history of that place, some number of organisms, how many number of organisms previously were there, which is not recorded in a literature, and the current situation, what is the different situation. हॅबिटॅटची हिस्ट्री मिळू शकते की अरे इथे तर पहिले असं नव्हतं, आता सडनली असं झालेलं आहे. That you can record. And communicating with the local people is a huge thing with regarding to the field research. So even for this I have to study the diet of crab, so I have to collect some samples. For the collection of crab, the local people really help me a lot, because those people are very used to catch the crabs. Once or twice I tried, and both the times I get bitten by the crab very badly. And crab bites, not exactly the bite, but it with this chalipids, it bites very badly, and the bleeding cannot stop very easily. So it is very helpful to get help from local people to catch the crab and to collect the samples. Even those people know some of the places which you cannot explore by your own. इथे diversity जास्ती आहे, इथे कमी मिळेल, इथे moderately मिळेल. Yes, it happens. So local people बरोबर communication. Even when you visit any forest. So this was regarding seashore, but even if when you go on a field search in a forest, you must communicate the tribal community which is living in a harmony with that forest. Very interesting inputs they will give. Okay, so this was all about this crab. So this was my dissertation thesis, which I recently presented in New Zealand regarding this diet of this crab and population of this crab. And this was the interesting finding, interesting output of my research. This crab is called Ossipod cordemania, and this species is registered on my name. In ZSI, I have deposited this ZSI, which is the Zoological Survey of India. I have deposited this specimen and registered this special specimen on my name. This was the first record of this crab on a west coast of India, and this is actually the accidental discovery. That's why the third important thing in a field research is observation. First thing is you have to follow the timing. Second thing is you have to communicate with the local people. And third thing is you have to have keen observation. And whatever you observe, you must note it down on your notepad. So you have to have a diary or a field book or a notepad with you, not a single paper, but for the keeping records of each and every visit, you have to have a diary with you. Okay, so I just recorded, I observed this type of crab, not on the seashore, not in the sand, but in an Ipomia. Ipomia, which is I don't know the Marathi name, I guess, but the Ipomia, which is ज्याला मराठी मध्ये yes, मर्याद वेल म्हणतात मराठी मध्ये. जे ग्रीन वेली पसरलेल्या असतात ना सी शोर वरती पाण्यापासून थोड्याशा लांब, that is called Ipomia. I found this crab on in the Ipomia plantation. So I just I found this crab and I just collected a specimen. For the record, I just keep the specimen. I understand this is a different than the crab which I was studying. So I just collected the specimen and put it in a alcohol and kept it aside for almost a year. After finishing my entire research, I understand. I remembered, yes, I have that another crab which I have to study, and then I studied that crab. All the observation I send it to ZSI. There is a professor called Dr. Samir Kumar Pati, who is a crab man of India. He cross-checked my observation and suggested me to send it to Dr. Sakai, who works in Singapore University, and he's a specialized in all the crustaceans. So he saw my pictures. He contacted me back. So once I emailed him, त्यांचा email मला परत आला की माझा रेफरन्स बुक वापरलायस का? तू म्हणलं येस सर, तुमचा रेफरन्स बुक मी वापरलेला आहे. तुमचं क्रॅब आयडेंटिफिकेशन गाईड, which is the latest क्रॅब आयडेंटिफिकेशन गाईड. I referred those observation of yours, but I couldn't find it, the matching thing. And then he told me there is something different. You might check it further. And there is a chance this is a new species of crab. And this is how the entire research works. So that's why small observations are very important. And this is how I recorded a new species of crab, which is named as Ossipod cordimina, because it is previously found in Singapore and Australia. But in India, this is the first record, Ossipod cordimina kulkarnensis. My surname, Kulkarnensis, is the entire name of the crab. And another interesting thing which happened in the field is sometimes the thing happen is due to some local activity you will not get some kind of samples, but usually happens ki अरे data मिळाला नाही आता काय करू, खोटा data लिहून टाकूया का. It happens. We are in panic to complete the research, to complete the dissertation. But no, even if the result and hypothesis is going to become negative, you have to give the true data, what you get. Okay, so this is the third thing which is important. Another thing, जे मी लोकांबरोबर conversation करायचं म्हणलं होतं ते, during this research, I found very interesting places in Vedas, which is the vulture nesting. I visited vulture nesting, vulture conservation program. I found swift nestlings. I found different bird nestlings in Vedas. So this is how the local communication works in a field of research. So this was a story of crab. This is how I ended up researching about the crabs. And yes, my research is still continuing. Some of the factors or some of the facts of crab which the local people shared with me, I am doing research on that currently also. Then the next thing is story of owls. So even I did a research on owls. So first thing is, before starting this research, I was not very keen to do this work because my personal interest is marine research. I am very fond of marine research. Any organism which is there in the ocean, I would like to do research on that. But owls or something on the territorial, something in the forest, I was not very fond of. But my professor forced me to do this. Yes, you are getting the opportunity, let's do it. Because at that time, my research was not, my current research was not going on that fast due to some funding issues. So I said, okay, let's give it a try. So now I found myself very fortunate. I did research on owls also, like forest research का भी experience मुझे मिला. So story of owls is basically I worked with WRCS, which is Wildlife Research and Conservation Society of India, which is situated in Pune. It is an NGO who did massive research on elephants, tigers, and owls. So I was a part of this owl research. During this research, we studied the 9 different varieties of owls which found in India, from the smallest one to the largest one. So from the Scops owlet to the eagle owl, Bubo bengalensis. So we studied the behavior of owl, the habitats of owl, and specifically the diet of owl and pellet identification studies. And outcome of that research is this, all about owl diet. This is the first manual on owl diet and owl pellet analysis, how you're going to do, how it is done. And identification of pellet remains. हे त्याचं सगळ्याचं मॅन्युअल आम्ही बनवलेलं आहे, जे नोव्हेंबर 2019 मध्ये पब्लिश झालं. वर्ल्ड आउल कॉन्फरन्स झाली होती पुण्यामध्ये, इथे युनिव्हर्सिटीमध्ये. तिथे RRCF, which is Raptor Research Conservation Fund, Conservation Foundation, त्यांच्या थ्रू हे आउल पेलेट अनालिसिस मॅन्युअल जे आहे हे पब्लिश केलं गेलं आणि त्यांचंच फंडिंग होतं या प्रोजेक्टला. सो या प्रोजेक्टमध्ये एक्झॅक्टली काय केलं मी किंवा काय एक्झॅक्टली माझं मोडस ऑपरेंडी होती या वर्कमध्ये. सो फील्ड वरती जायचं. अनफॉर्च्युनेटली मी एकटीच या प्रोजेक्टवरती काम करत असल्यामुळे मला फील्ड स्टडी आणि लॅब स्टडी जो हेक्टिक होता प्रचंड, हा दोन्ही मॅनेज करणं शक्य नव्हतं. त्यामुळे फक्त 3दा मला फील्डवर जायला मिळालं. जे 2 वर्ष मी या प्रोजेक्टवरती काम करत होते, मी फक्त 3दा मी फील्डवरती गेले. बट ऍट दॅट टाइम ऑल्सो आय हॅड अ वंडरफुल एक्सपिरियन्स. कारण फील्ड जे होतं हे माझं होतं सॉरी मध्य प्रदेशमध्ये खांडवा डिस्ट्रिक्ट जो आहे, या खांडवा डिस्ट्रिक्ट मधला आमचा फॉरेस्ट पॅच होता या आउल्सच्या स्टडीचा. आणि ह्या सगळ्या व्हरायटीच्या, सो स्कॉप्स आउलेट, फॉरेस्ट आउलेट, जंगल आउल, ईगल आउल, त्याच्यानंतर मॉटलवूड आउल, फिश आउल, या सगळ्या आउल्सचा स्टडी जो आहे, आणि बार्न आउल ऑफकोर्स, या सगळ्या आउल्सचा स्टडी जो आहे हा आम्ही केलेला आहे. तर इंटरेस्टिंग फॅक्ट अबाउट आउल इज की आउल जे आहे हे फिकल मॅटर कधीच रिलीज करत नाही. इन्स्टेड ऑफ दॅट दे रिगर्गिटेट. जे काय खातात ते उलटी करून बाहेर टाकतात इन द फॉर्म ऑफ these pellets. So this is the process of regurgitation and the pellets they throw out looks like this. So जो काही मॅटर ते खातात आणि जो डायजेस्ट होत नाही हा या पेलेट फॉर्म मध्ये ते बाहेर टाकतात. सो जिथे कुठे आऊलचं नेस्टिंग असेल त्या झाडाखाली ह्या पेलेट्स पडलेले असतात. सो वी जस्ट आम्ही जायचो फील्डवर, आम्हाला नेस्टिंग साइट्स माहिती असायच्या. नेस्टिंग साइट्सच्या खालनं पेलेट्स कलेक्ट करायचो आणि लॅबमध्ये येऊन, ऑफिसमध्ये येऊन पुन्हा त्या पेलेट्सचं अनालिसिस करायचो. तर पेलेट अनालिसिस म्हणजे काय, तर ह्या पेलेट्सचं लिटरल डिसेक्शन करायचो. डिसेक्ट आउट करून त्याच्यामधला जो काही कंटेंट असेल, सी लाईक दिस, किंवा हे दिसतात की नाही बोन्स सगळे, हे प्रत्येक बोन वेगळं काढणं किंवा अजून काही वेगळं मिळालं असेल, पक्ष्यांची पिसं मिळाली असतील तर ती पक्ष्यांची पिसं वेगळी काढणं, इन्सेक्ट्स पार्ट मिळाले असतील तर ते इन्सेक्ट्स पार्ट वेगळे काढणं, ही प्रोसिजर करायचो. त्याच्यानंतरचं मोठं काम असायचं की त्या गोष्टी आयडेंटिफाय करणं. एक अजून प्लस पॉइंट काय मिळाला या आउल स्टडीच्या रिगार्डिंग, आय स्टार्टेड लर्निंग अबाउट द rodents because the major component of these owl diets is rodents, all the types of rats, all the types of rodents they used to have. So I learned how to identify all the different types of rats, from the smallest one, which is which we called as the Sanka shrew, the shrew rat, to the largest, which is we called the very sorry, which we called as a मराठीमध्ये ज्याला आपण घूस म्हणतो, मोठी. सो सगळ्यात छोटी चिचुंदरी ते सगळ्यात मोठी घूस, याचं आयडेंटिफिकेशन करायचं, दॅट आय लर्न थ्रू आउट दिस स्टडी. सो विथ द हेल्प ऑफ दीज स्कल रिमेन्स अँड बोन रिमेन्स, I learned how to identify each and every species of rodent. Now regarding the field, the three times which I visited the field, very interesting experience. Firstly, nest शोधायचं कसं. Again, the local people, the tribal community over there helped me a lot. की या झाडावर हे आऊल आहे, त्या झाडावर ते आऊल आहे. नॉट दॅट त्यांना नावं सांगता यायची, पण दिसतं कसं किंवा फोटोवरनं ओळखायचे ते की हा हे आऊल ना या झाडावर मिळेल. आत्ता नाही जायचं, नंतर जायचं. आत्ता तिकडे मेल फिमेल दोघंही बसलेले असतात, अंगावर येतील, ही जी इन्फॉर्मेशन असते. अँड येस, आय हॅड एक्सपिरियन्स. आय वेंट टू कलेक्ट द पॅरेट ऑफ ईगल आउल अँड वी गॉट अटॅक्ड बाय अ फिमेल अँड लेटर वी डिस्कवर की अरे त्याच्यामध्ये अंडी होती, दॅट्स वाय शी अटॅक्ड. सो हे जे काही स्मॉल इनपुट्स आहेत हे लोकल कम्युनिटी देऊ शकते. सो पेलेट आणून ते प्रिझर्व करायचं, नंतर त्याचं डिसेक्शन करायचं, कंटेंट्स वेगळे करायचे आणि कंटेंट्स आयडेंटिफाय करायचे, डेटा रेकॉर्ड करायचा. हा सगळा जो पार्ट आहे तो फील्ड रिसर्च मध्ये येतो, which is divided into lab research and field research. The collection thing is again important. While collecting the pellet, कुठनं कलेक्ट केलं, कधी कलेक्ट केलं, हे लिहून ठेवणं सगळ्यात जास्ती गरजेचं असतं. दॅट्स वाय यू हॅव टू हॅव अ रेकॉर्ड बुक अँड फील्ड इक्विपमेंट्स. कुठल्याही फील्ड वरती जाताना कुठल्याही ऑर्गॅनिझमला भस्कन हाताने टच करायला जायचं नाही. इफ यू आर नॉट aware of that organism, because you don't know how that organism is going to respond, how that animal is going to respond. जर नेसेसरी नसेल तर ॲनिमलला हँडल करायला जायचं नाही. एनिवेअर, into the sea, onto the shore, or in the forest. If there is not necessity, you should not touch that animal. This is the first rule. Again, this is another rule of field study. Okay, if you found any injured animal, yes, you have to handle it. You have to give some treatment. But there are certain ways to handle that particular animal. And yes, याची ट्रेनिंग असतात की animal ला कसं हँडल करायचं. Only out of adventure, I want to touch that animal. No, completely wrong. Because you don't know how that animal is going to respond. Because already आपल्याला बघून तो ॲनिमल पॅनिक मोडला गेलेला असतो. इन केस ऑफ ओशन्स, यू डोंट नो व्हॉट थिंग इज वेनमस, व्हॉट थिंग इज पॉइझनस. अल्टिमेटली तुमच्यावर त्याचा इम्पॅक्ट किती होऊ शकतो, काय होऊ शकतो, काय रॅशेस येऊ शकतात, दॅट यू डोंट नो. मेनी ऑफ मॉल्युस्क, मेनी ऑफ शंख शिंपले जे कलेक्ट करायची सवय असते लोकांना, त्यातले कितीतरी शंख शिंपले हे वेनमस असतात, कितीतरी शंख शिंपले हे पॉइझनस असतात, ज्यांच्यामध्ये जर आतमध्ये ऑर्गॅनिझम असेल तर तो टॉक्सिन्स रिलीज करतो. त्याला पटकन हात लावला तर हातावरती रॅशेस येऊ शकतात. जेलीफिश पटकन टच करायला जायचं नाही. स्टारफिश पटकन टच करायला जायचं नाही. बिकॉज अगेन ते त्यांचं प्रोटेक्टिव्ह मेकॅनिझम असतं की टू रिलीज टॉक्सिन्स, टू सेव्ह देमसेल्व्स. ओके, सो येस, आऊलच्या बाबतीतला हा एक एक्सपिरियन्स होता की मेल फिमेल जवळ असतील तिथे तर जायचं नाही. ते नसताना पेलेट कलेक्ट करायला जायचं. आणि ह्याच्या वेळा कोण सांगतात, तर जे फॉरेस्ट मध्ये लोक राहतात ते. ओके, सो येस, तो हा स्टडी आम्ही केला, डेटा रेकॉर्ड केला आणि फायनली वी एंडेड दॅट प्रोजेक्ट रिलीजिंग दिस ऑल अबाउट आउल डाएट चं जे मॅन्युअल आहे ते. In WRCS, I also got opportunity to do some work on elephant research as well. They are studying elephant at Yellapur, Karnataka. जो ह्युमन एलिफंट कॉन्फ्लिक्ट आहे त्याच्यावर सुद्धा त्यांचा स्टडी होता. तिकडे सुद्धा मी फील्डवर 2-3 वेळा जाऊन आले. व्हेरी इंटरेस्टिंग एक्सपिरियन्स. एलिफंट्स बरेचसे स्पॉट केले, त्याची कारणं शोधली काय होती ती. इवन आउलची सुद्धा कारणं शोधली आम्ही की नंबर ऑफ आउल्स, वाय नंबर ऑफ आउल्स आर रिड्युसिंग in a large amount, especially in Madhya Pradesh and all those regions. The reason is habitat destruction. Due to construction of roads and highways, many owls are sorry, many owls have started constructing their nest on the plants or on the trees which are roadside. And when they construct their nest on the roadside, the eggs of owl started the people surrounded at that area किंवा जे ट्रायबल कम्युनिटी असेल त्यांनी त्या एग्स स्टील करायला सुरुवात केली होती. किंवा ड्यू टू द कन्स्ट्रक्शन व्हायब्रेशन्स नेस्ट पडून जायचं. रोड कन्स्ट्रक्शन मुळे झाडं कापली जायची, त्या झाडांवरती आऊलची नेस्ट असायची. हे न बघता, न असेसमेंट करता बरेचसे रोड तयार करण्याच्या वेळी झाडं कापली गेली. अँड दॅट इज द रिझन वाय द नंबर ऑफ आउल्स आर सडनली रिड्युस्ड ऍट दॅट एरिया. अनदर थिंग, आउलचं जे फीडिंग आहे हे बेसिकली श्रूज किंवा रॅट्स वरती असतं. जे रॅट्स ऍग्रिकल्चरल फील्ड मध्ये असतात त्या ऍग्रिकल्चरल फील्ड मध्ये आऊल अटॅक करून रॅट्सना पकडतो. इट्स अ मिथ की आऊल फक्त रात्री ऍक्टिव्ह असतं. काही आऊल्स रात्री ऍक्टिव्ह असतात आणि काही आऊल्स दिवसा सुद्धा ऍक्टिव्ह असतात. नॉट ओनली आऊल्स वर्क ऍट नाईट. ओके, सो दिवसा सुद्धा आऊल्स ऍक्टिव्ह असतात, व्यवस्थित हंटिंग करतात आऊल्स दिवसा सुद्धा. सो इट्स अ कम्प्लिटली मिथ की आऊल्स फक्त रात्री येतात. सो ऍग्रिकल्चरल फील्ड जे आहेत त्या फील्ड मध्ये जी पेस्टिसाइड मारली जायची, या पेस्टिसाइड मुळे रॅट्स येणं कमी झालं. रॅट्स मिळत नाहीत म्हणून आऊल्स येणं कमी झालं. इव्हेंच्युअली फीडिंग वरती त्यांचा परिणाम झाला. अँड थर्ड अँड मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टंट थिंग इज आपल्याकडे असलेली अंधश्रद्धा. misconceptions, myths. Owl is unlucky. Owl बघितल्याने काय, it's unlucky for your wealth, your health. Okay, हा जो सगळ्यात मोठा गैरसमज आहे. त्यामुळे आउल्सला मारण्याचं प्रमाण वाढलं, आउल्स हंटिंगचं प्रमाण वाढलं. दिसलं आउल की मारून टाक. वाय? बिकॉज इट इज अनलकी. असं काहीही नसतं. आउल्स लकी अनलकी असं काही नसतं. इट्स अ पार्ट ऑफ नेचर. जर एका नेचर मधल्या पार्टला तुम्ही काढून टाकलं तर एंटायर इकोसिस्टम इज गोइंग टू इम्बॅलन्स्ड. पूर्ण जो स्कॅव्हेंजिंग करतोय, जो रोडंट्सना मारतोय, त्यालाच जर तुम्ही काढून टाकलं तर अल्टिमेटली नंबर ऑफ रोडंट्स इज गोइंग टू इन्क्रीज. ओके, सो सगळ्यात मोठा होता तो म्हणजे लोकांचे गैरसमज की आउल्स अनलकी असं काहीतरी घडेल, नको ते समोर आउल. किंवा दिसताना सुद्धा भयंकर आणि विचित्र दिसतं, लोक घाबरतात, म्हणून हे गैरसमज तयार झाले होते. आणि तिसरं म्हणजे महत्वाचं म्हणजे तस्करी. आउलच्या पिसांची जी तस्करी व्हायची ती तस्करी. अँड सम ऑफ दी ट्रायबल पीपल दे रिअली लाईक आउल मीट. सो अगेन another reason for hunting of owls. So because of these reasons, the number of owls suddenly started reducing, and I did research on that, and now the manual is published, and now people can identify how to study owl pellet and how you can study the owl diet. म्हणजे एखादा आउल जर घरी असेल इंजोर्ड आलेलं किंवा एखाद्या झू मध्ये असेल तर त्याला फीडिंग काय द्यायचं हे समजण्यासाठी यू कॅन डेफिनेटली रेफर दिस manual. Another most interesting question people ask.
I want to share some experience about.
Yeah, sure.
मॅम मी रेस्क्यूअर आहे. मी एकदा बार्न आउल रेस्क्यू केला होता.
Yeah.
मॅम ते आपला फॅबच्या फर्स्ट वीक होता, फेब्रुवारीच्या.
Uh-huh.
तर मला अशी पण एक एक्सपिरियन्स मिळाला, म्हणजे माहिती मिळाली की जॅनच्या लास्ट वीक मध्ये आणखी फेबच्या फर्स्ट वीक मध्ये बाय द क्लायमेट चेंज आउल थोडं डायजेस्ट नाही करू शकत, त्यामुळे त्या डायरिया होते. मी जिथे रेस्क्यू करून TTC म्हणून सेंटर आहे नागपूरला, तिथे मी घेऊन गेलो होतो. तर तिथे त्यांनी मला कळवलं की आणखी पण तू आणायच्या आधी 2 दिवसाआधी आणखी 3 आऊल आले आहे म्हणे की त्यांना पण डायरिया झालाय. तर त्यांचा असा अनुमान होता की हा जो म्हणजे हा पिरियड ऑफ टाइम आहे क्लायमेटिक चेंज, त्या पिरियड मध्ये त्याला डायरिया होतं. आणखी त्याच्यामुळे इफ ते रेस्क्यू झाले तर ते मतलब ते सेफ आहे, नाहीतर मग ते इफ जंगल्स मध्ये कोणाचं लक्ष वगैरे नाही गेलं ते डेथ होऊन जाते. मॅम
Okay, regarding that, even I had some experience regarding this. So the quality of pellets definitely changes जेव्हा आम्ही ह्या पिरियड मधले pellets कलेक्ट करायला जायचो त्यावेळेस. तर येस, क्लायमेट चेंज जसा आपल्यावर इम्पॅक्ट करतो, आपल्याला सर्दी होते, आपल्याला फ्लू होतो, तसाच या प्राण्यांवरती सुद्धा इम्पॅक्ट करतो. तर ही फॅक्ट बरोबर आहे की जेव्हा मेजर चेंज होतो, थंडी संपून उन्हाळा स्टार्ट होतो, त्या पिरियड मध्ये आउल्सला डायजेशनला प्रॉब्लेम येतो. दॅट इज द वन थिंग. पण असं नाहीये की त्यांना ट्रीटमेंट मिळाली तरच ते जिवंत राहू शकतात, अदरवाईज मरतात. दे हॅव देअर ओन इम्युनिटी सिस्टम, दे कॅन सर्व्हाइव्ह ऑफ देअर ओन. आणि दुसरी एक गोष्ट असू शकते ती म्हणजे की डाएट मध्ये काहीतरी वेगळं केलेलं असू शकतं, किंवा ज्याच्यावर त्यांनी फीड केलेलं आहे त्याच्या पोटात ऑलरेडी काहीतरी वेगळं असू शकतं. पण येस, इतकाही डायरिया होण्या इतकाही इम्पॅक्ट नसतो मोठाच्या मोठा. आणि असं नाही की ते सर्व्हाइव्ह करू शकत नाही, सर्व्हाइव्ह ते करू शकतात. फक्त इंटेन्सिटी डायरियाची जर जास्ती असेल तर देर इज अ प्रॉब्लेम. बट वाईल्ड मध्ये म्हणजे जेव्हा आपले ते वाईल्ड मध्ये राहत असतात, वाईल्ड हॅबिटॅट मध्ये राहत असतात, तेव्हा असं काही नसतं. दे आर एबल टू सर्व्हाइव्ह देअर ओन. जस्ट अ मिनिट.
ओके, थँक्यू मॅम.
Okay, so this was about the owls. Okay, during this I have in the office of WRCS I have generated the entire bone library, the bone which I found in the pellet. So I have cleaned them, I have properly arranged them in a glass bottles. So now we have references की बाबा हे कशाचं स्कल आहे, मग आपल्याला दुसरं मिळालंय तर तेच आहे का. मग स्कल आयडेंटिफाय कसं करायचं, तर रोडंटचं स्कल सुद्धा डेंटिशन वरनं आयडेंटिफाय करतात. डिफरंट टाइप्स ऑफ डेंटिशन सापडतात. समोरचे जे पुढचे जे इन्सायझर्स आहेत त्या इन्सायझर्स मध्ये व्हरायटी असते. इन्सेक्ट बॉडी पार्ट्स वरून ओळखता येतात. काही वेळेला तर मला याच्यामध्ये स्नेकचे स्केल्स मिळालेले आहेत. मला एका पेलेटमध्ये आय रिमेंबर्ड ईगल आउलचं पेलेट होतं विच वॉज 6 सेंटीमीटर इन लेंथ. त्याच्यामध्ये मला अख्खाच्या अख्खा घुशीचं स्कल मिळालेलं होतं आणि त्याच्यातच मला स्नेकचा पूर्ण कॉलम मिळालेला होता. जो वर्टेब्रल कॉलम असतो ना स्नेकचा, तो पूर्ण स्नेकचा वर्टेब्रल कॉलम अख्खा इंटॅक्ट मिळालेला होता. असे खूप इंटरेस्टिंग गोष्टी सापडतात. सो अनदर थिंग, जसं मी सांगितलं, टाइम ऑब्झर्वेशन, फील्ड नोटबुक असली पाहिजे, लोकांबरोबर कम्युनिकेशन असलं पाहिजे. तसंच कुठल्याही फील्डवरती ब्लाइंडली जायचं नाही. यू हॅव टू नो समथिंग अबाउट दॅट एरिया. वेन यू आर वर्किंग इन ऑन अ सीशोर, समुद्र कसा आहे, तो किनारा कसा आहे, धोकादायक आहे का सेफ आहे फिरायला, काय काय त्या किनाऱ्यावर होऊ शकतं, ह्या गोष्टी फील्ड रिसर्चला शक्यतो कधीही समुद्रावरती एकटं जायचं नाही. ऑलवेज यू हॅव टू हॅव कंपनी. कारण किनाऱ्याबद्दल जर माहिती नसेल तर धोकादायक किनारा असेल, पाणी आतमध्ये खेचणारं असेल तर प्रॉब्लेम होऊ शकतो. त्यामुळे समुद्र किनाऱ्यावर कधी शक्यतो एकटं रिसर्च करायला जायचं नाही. कारण तंद्री लागते, आपलं आपलं काम चालू असतं आणि पटकन वेळेचं भान नाही झालं तर टाईड उलटू शकते आणि टाईड उलटली तर प्रॉब्लेम येऊ शकतो. या जर तरच्या गोष्टी आहेत, पण या महत्वाच्या गोष्टी आहेत. फॉरेस्ट मध्ये जाताना फॉरेस्ट टाईप कसं आहे, त्या फॉरेस्ट मध्ये काय काय सापडतं, काय काय इम्पॉर्टंट गोष्टी आहेत, त्यानुसार तुमचं अटायर काय असलं पाहिजे हे महत्वाचं आहे. कुठला ऍनिमल कुठे असतो हे माहिती असलं पाहिजे, किंवा कुठली वेळ फॉलो केली गेली पाहिजे फॉरेस्ट मध्ये जाताना, कुठल्या वेळेच्या आत त्या फॉरेस्ट मधून बाहेर यायला पाहिजे. आय एम नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट द नॅशनल पार्क्स, बट आय एम टॉकिंग अबाउट सम रॅन्डम फॉरेस्ट पॅचेस, ओके, किंवा सँच्युरी जिकडे आपण फिरू शकतो सगळीकडे. सो या सगळ्या खूप महत्वाच्या गोष्टी आहेत. आणि सगळ्यात महत्वाची आणि इम्पॉर्टंट गोष्ट शेवटची फील्ड वरती जाताना, ज्या एस्पेशली जेव्हा तुम्ही गावात जाता, कुठल्या तरी हार्डकोर विलेज मध्ये जाता रिसर्च करताना, त्यावेळी तुम्ही वापरायचे कपडे, नॉट ओनली ऑन द फील्ड बट रेग्युलरली जाताना वापरायचे कपडे, हा सुद्धा एक खूप महत्वाचा भाग आहे. सिन्स वी ऑल लिव्ह इन अ सिटी, आपले कपडे वापरायची पद्धत ही खूप वेगळी असते. पण जेव्हा तुम्ही गावात जाता त्यावेळी गावातल्या लोकांना या पद्धतीची सवय नसते. सो शक्यतो व्यवस्थित अटायर ठेवावं. फील्डवर जाताना आय नो कम्फर्टेबल कपडे लागतात, पण त्याच्यात सुद्धा व्यवस्थित आपल्याला फील्डचे पॅन्ट शर्ट्स हे मिळतात. पॅन्ट शर्ट टी शर्ट घालायला काहीच हरकत नाही. पण बाकीची जी आपल्याला सिटी लाईफची सवय आहे ती थोडीशी कपड्यांची सवय ही फील्डवर जाताना बदलली पाहिजे. कारण गावातल्या लोकांना ह्या गोष्टीची सवय नसते आणि काही वेळेला त्याचे दुष्परिणाम आपल्या रिसर्च वरती दिसू शकतात. म्हणून हा तितकाच, कपडे हा सुद्धा तितकाच महत्वाचा मुद्दा आहे. अजून इंटरेस्टिंग फॅक्ट फील्ड रिसर्चची तुम्हाला सांगायची झाली तर, की जसं मी सांगितलं इम्पॉर्टंट गोष्टी आहेत, तशाच इंटरेस्टिंग फॅक्ट अशा आहेत की जसा क्रॅब मला सापडला तशाच अजून काही डिस्कव्हरीज होऊ शकतात फील्डवरती. फील्ड एक्सपिरियन्स हा सगळ्यात महत्वाचा भाग आहे कुठल्याही प्रकारच्या वाईल्ड लाईफ रिसर्च मध्ये किंवा बायोडायव्हर्सिटी रिसर्च मध्ये. झाडं असतील, पानं असतील, फुलं असतील, फळं असतील, प्राणी असतील, प्रत्येक गोष्टीचं त्याचं हॅबिटॅट आहे, त्याची पर्सनल स्पेस आहे. जशी आपल्याला आपली पर्सनल स्पेस लागते तशी त्यांना त्यांची पर्सनल स्पेस लागते. त्यामुळे कुठल्याही गोष्टी बरोबर इंटरॅक्ट करताना ऍडव्हेंचरस ही गोष्ट साईडला ठेवायची आणि जायची. कॅमेरा यूज जो आहे हा लिमिटेड ठेवायचा. कॅमेरा यूज चे जे काही नॉर्म्स आहेत हे नॉर्म्स कंपल्सरी फॉलो केले गेलेच पाहिजेत. फ्लॅश वापरायचा अजिबात नाही. फ्लॅश अजिबात वापरायचा नाही कुठल्याही ऍनिमलची फोटोग्राफी करताना. त्याच्यानंतर फोटो काढण्यातच घडून जायचं नाही. जर तो ऍनिमल फोटो काढताना डिस्टर्ब झाला, अगेन देर इज अ हाय चान्स की तो तुमच्यावरती अटॅक करू शकतो. जर तुम्ही नाईट ट्रेलला जात असाल, मेनी टाइम्स अॅम्फिबियन्सचा रिसर्च असेल किंवा काही स्नेकचा रिसर्च असेल, नाईट ट्रेल्स करावे लागतात कारण ते त्याच वेळेला बाहेर पडतात. त्यामुळे नाईट ट्रेल असेल तर तुमच्याकडे प्रॉपर वेल इक्विप्ड सामान असलं पाहिजे. तुमच्याकडे टॉर्च पाहिजे, तुमच्याकडे स्टिक पाहिजे, तुम्हाला रस्ता माहिती असला पाहिजे, तो रोड कसा आहे. त्याच्यासाठी मी म्हणलं की त्या गावाची माहिती किंवा त्या जागेची माहिती असणं फार गरजेचं आहे. आणि एखादा असा माणूस जो तुम्हाला प्रॉपर गाईड करू शकेल. आणि जर एखाद्या गावात एखादा रूल असेल, लाईक मी वेळासमध्ये काम करते किंवा मी कोकणात काम करते, तर त्यांच्याकडे रूल आहे की अमावस्येला ते लोक काम करत नाहीत किंवा अमावस्येला समुद्रावर जायचं नाही. आपल्याकडे हा ऍटिट्यूड असतो की काय फरक पडतो, किंवा ही गोष्ट सगळी बिलिव्हिंग वरती आहे. क्या फरक पडता हा ऍटिट्यूड असतो, पण नाही. वेन यू आर इन देअर विलेज यू हॅव टू रिस्पेक्ट ऑल द रूल्स मेड बाय देम. ठीक आहे, नाही जायचं अमावस्येला समुद्रावर, नको जायला, नको काम करायला, काही असतील त्यांचे नियम, पण उगाच का 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 प्रश्न विचारत. माहिती रिसर्चर असल्यामुळे ही टेंडन्सी असू शकते, पण उगाच पोक करायला कोणालाही जायचं नाही व्हाईल वर्किंग ऑन द फील्ड. ओके. आणि लास्ट इज, जसं आपण म्हणलं की जसं फील्ड रिसर्च महत्वाचा आहे, तसाच हा इव्हिल क्वाड्रंट लक्षात घेणं सुद्धा महत्वाचं आहे. वाय वी हॅव टू प्रिझर्व द बायोडायव्हर्सिटी. तर तो इव्हिल क्वाड्रंट आहे ज्याच्यामुळे बायोडायव्हर्सिटीचा लॉस होतो. द फर्स्ट इज हॅबिटॅट लॉस. हॅबिटॅट लॉसची सुद्धा बरीचशी कारण आहेत. सगळ्यात मेजर कारण जे आहे ते आहे आता कन्स्ट्रक्शन, हायवेज कन्स्ट्रक्शन, डॅम कन्स्ट्रक्शन, रोड कन्स्ट्रक्शन. त्याच्यामुळे होणारे फॉरेस्टचा जो लॉस आहे तो, किंवा आता आपल्याकडे मोठ्याच्या मोठ्या मुंबईमध्ये वांद्रे वरळी सी लिंक झाली, त्याच्यानंतर आता कोस्टल रोड होतोय आपल्याकडे. त्या कोस्टल रोडमुळे समुद्रात काय होतंय, किंवा आता शिवाजीचं स्मारक होतंय मुंबईमध्ये मोठ्याच्या मोठं, त्यामुळे समुद्रात काय होतंय, तिथे जे कोरल रीफ्स आहेत त्यांच्यावरती काय परिणाम होतोय हा अभ्यास करणं, किंवा ह्या कन्स्ट्रक्शनमुळे होणारा तिथल्या बायोडायव्हर्सिटीचा लॉस, दॅट इज व्हॉट वी कॉल्ड एज अ हॅबिटॅट लॉस. Many reasons are that. So there are some natural reasons, there are some anthropological or man-made reasons. Natural reasons कुठली येतं, कुठलीही नॅचरल कलॅमिटी ही नॅचरल रिझन्स मध्ये येतात. आणि कुठल्याही प्रकारची ह्युमन ऍक्टिव्हिटी लाईक कन्स्ट्रक्शन असेल, डिस्ट्रक्शन असेल, ही येते अँथ्रोपोलॉजिकल ऍक्टिव्हिटी मध्ये. त्याच्यानंतर येतं ओव्हर एक्सप्लॉयटेशन, एखाद्या गोष्टीचा अति यूज करणं. इट लीड्स टू द एक्सटिंक्शन ऑफ सर्टन स्पीशीज. मग ओव्हर एक्सप्लॉयटेशन मध्ये आपल्याकडे बऱ्याचशा गोष्टी आहेत, लाईक चंदनाचं लाकूड आहे, वाळवणासाठी आपण झाडं तोडतो, किंवा रेग्युलर वापरासाठी झाडं तोडली जातात, ज्याला सरपण असं मराठीत म्हणतो आपण, रेग्युलर बेसिसच्या ऍक्टिव्हिटीसाठी. पोचिंग ऍक्टिव्हिटीज आहेत बऱ्याचशा अॅनिमल्सच्या, फॉर द स्किन पर्पज, फॉर द illegal trading purpose. So it has happened with the tigers before Save the Tiger project. During I guess 10-15 years back, huge tiger poaching is going on. For what reason? For illegal trade of tiger skin, tiger nails, and tiger bones to China. Because ancient Chinese medicine, you guys must have known this fact. Ancient Chinese medicine have tiger नेल्स अँड टायगर बोन्स चूर्ण करून त्यांच्या मेडिसिन्स मध्ये वापरलं जातं. आणि टायगर स्किन ऑफकोर्स द फॅशन इंडस्ट्रीची रिक्वायरमेंट असायची टायगर स्किनची. सो हे टायगर पोचिंग करून चायनाला किंवा बाकीच्या काही देशांमध्ये इलिगल एक्सपोर्ट केला जायचा. सेम थिंग हॅपन्ड विथ पँगोलिन. पँगोलिनचं सुद्धा करंटली जे चालू आहे, पँगोलिन, आय होप ऑल ऑफ यू नो पँगोलिन, ज्याला खवले मांजर म्हणतो आपण. सो त्याच्या अंगावर जे खवले असतात, ज्याला आपण स्केल्स असं म्हणतो, त्याचं सूप करून पिण्याची फार पद्धत आहे. त्यामुळे त्याचा इलिगल ट्रेड जो आहे तो चाललेला आहे. अँड वी कॅनॉट इमॅजिन what kind of people or what level of people are included in this illegal trade. So currently one of my friend which is working in that illegal trade of pangolin, जे आपले भंगारवाले असतात की नाही, या भंगारवाल्यांपासून हे जाळं सुरू होतं. त्यांना या खवले मांजरांची बिळं माहिती असतात कुठे असतात, सो तिकडून त्यांना पकडायचं. भंगारवाल्याची जी गाडी असते त्या गाडीत खालती ह्या पँगोलिन्सना ठेवलं जायचं आणि तिथून तो इलिगल ट्रेड स्टार्ट होतो, विच एंड्स अप इन चायना, इन मेक्सिको. अँड इन चायना अँड मेक्सिको द मीट and the soup of that shells is very famous, famous delicacy in food industry of China and Mexico. So this is how illegal trade works. कुठून कुठे एंड अप होईल हे तुम्हाला माहिती नसतं. खूप खूप इंटरेस्टिंग टॉपिक आहे आणि आउटकम्स तुम्ही वाचले तर खूप हॉरिबल आउटकम्स आहेत. सो दिस इज ओव्हर एक्सप्लॉयटेशन, एखाद्या अॅनिमलचा अति वापर करणं. सो आता सुद्धा करंटली आपल्याकडे व्हेल एंडेंजर्ड आहे, कारण व्हेल पोचिंग आपल्याकडे खूप होतं, व्हेल हंटिंग आपल्याकडे खूप होतं. टायगर्स एंडेंजर्ड आहेत आपल्याकडनं. एक्सटिंक्ट झालेल्या अॅनिमल मध्ये चीता एक आहे, डोडो एक आहे आपल्याकडे एक्सटिंक्ट झालेला ड्यू टू हॅबिटॅट लॉस म्हणा किंवा ओव्हर एक्सप्लॉयटेशन म्हणा. हॅबिटॅट लॉस आत्ताचं रिसेंट एक्झाम्पल आहे आपल्याकडे GIB. GIBचं जे एक्झाम्पल आहे ते ग्रेट इंडियन बस्टर्ड, माळढोक ज्याला म्हणतो ते. सो हॅबिटॅट लॉसचं हे एक एक्झाम्पल आहे. त्याच्यानंतरचं तिसरं महत्वाचं कारण आहे इन्व्हेजन ऑफ एलियन स्पीशीज. याच्या गोष्टी माहिती आहेत का रे तुम्हाला? कोणाला काही माहिती इन्व्हेजन ऑफ एलियन स्पीशीजची गोष्ट which ultimately leads to loss of biodiversity? Anybody?
Ma'am, please repeat the question.
Do you know any story of invasion of alien species?
मैम अभी हुआ है ना एक मैम एक व्हेल की जो स्पीशीज आई है अभी, उसमें थोड़ा सा ह्यूमन के फीचर्स हैं.
No. So okay, invasion of alien species is what? कि बाहर से एक कोई स्पीशीज आई जो यहाँ पे आके बस गई और यहाँ पे वो डोमिनेंट हो गई. दैट इज व्हाट इन्वेजन ऑफ एलियन स्पीशीज इज. So all of you know Congress grass?
Yes, ma'am.
पता है Congress grass?
Yes, ma'am.
Which we can found anywhere, any place. अपने बिल्डिंग के नीचे भी जाओ तो इजीली मिल जाता है. This is the famous example of invasion of alien species. Famous example of alien species. इसका स्टोरी पता है आपको?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, can you tell?
मैम वो इटली से मतलब गेहूं में आई हुई स्पीसीज है जो अपने इधर ग्रो हो गई है.
Yes, exactly. So in 1962 जब हमारे यहाँ पे बहुत बड़ा ड्रॉट आया था, दुष्काळ आला होता आपल्याकडे, त्यावेळेस आपण बाहेरच्या देशातनं गहू आपल्यासाठी पाठवले गेले होते पेरण्यासाठी आणि खाण्यासाठी. सो आपल्या शेतकऱ्यांना जे गहू मिळाले त्या गव्हाबरोबर या पार्थेनियमचं सीड जे आहे हे मिक्स केलं गेलं होतं. अँड फ्रॉम देअर the Parthenium has become dominant and now it is that dominant की त्यात completely eradicate करणं, completely काढून टाकणं आपल्या देशातनं हे possible नाहीये. So this is called as intentional invention of alien species. Intentionally केलं गेलं होतं आणि हेच ऍक्सिडेंटल झालं होतं लॅन्टाना कॅमेराचं, ज्याला मराठीत आपण घाणेरी असं म्हणतो. फुलं येतात ना छोटी छोटी त्याला मल्टी कलरची. ऍक्सिडेंटल इन्सर्शन झालं होतं लॅन्टाना कॅमेराचं, जे आलं होतं आपल्याकडे मिलेट्स मधनं, नाचणी ज्याला म्हणतो, या नाचणीमधनं आपल्याकडे आलं होतं हे. आणि आता आपल्याकडे ते आहे बरंच. सो आता ते पण पॉसिबल नाहीये काढून टाकणं. सो दिस इज व्हॉट इन्व्हेन्शन ऑफ एलियन स्पीशीज इज. There are multiple in plants and in animals also. There are multiple and many alien species which are intentionally or accidentally inserted in that particular area, and now that species has become dominant and suppressing the native species, suppressing the endemic species over there. So Congress grass अगर हो कहीं पे तो वो अलाउ नहीं करता किसी और को वहां पे ग्रो होने के लिए. So this is what invasion of alien species, which is ultimately related to the ultimately responsible for the loss of biodiversity. And lastly, co-extinctions. Co-extinction मतलब एक animal पे अगर दूसरा कोई dependent हो, अगर animal A का पॉपुलेशन कम हो जाता है तो अल्टीमेटली एनिमल भी जो उस पर डिपेंडेंट है उसका भी पॉपुलेशन कम हो जाएगा एंड अल्टीमेटली दोनों एक्सटिंक्ट हो जाएंगे. दिस इज व्हाट वी कॉल्ड को एक्सटिंक्शन. अगेन दिस इज एन इम्पोर्टेंट फैक्टर, द फोर्थ फैक्टर ऑफ बायोडाइवर्सिटी लॉस. सो जितना फील्ड स्टडी इंपॉर्टेंट है उतना ही थ्योरेटिकल स्टडी इंपॉर्टेंट है. रीजंस जान लेना इंपॉर्टेंट है कि क्यों ये लॉस हो रहा है वहां पे. लाइक आई सेड रिगार्डिंग टर्टल स्टडीज, आई फर्स्ट समझ लिया था मैंने कि क्या प्रॉब्लम है वहां पे. रिगार्डिंग क्रैब स्टडीज सेम थिंग हैपन. प्रॉब्लम क्या है वहां पे, कंस्ट्रक्शन की वजह से प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है क्या, या कोई क्रैब्स पे फीड कर रहा है या लोग वहां से क्रैब्स पकड़ के खाने के लिए ले जा रहे हैं क्या, ये मैंने स्टडी किया. सेम गोज विद आउल. आउल का मैंने बैकग्राउंड स्टडी किया, क्यों पॉपुलेशन कम हो रहा है, क्या रीजंस है पॉपुलेशन कम होने के. देन आई स्टार्टेड फील्ड स्टडी. सो बैकग्राउंड स्टडी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है बिफोर स्टार्टिंग द फील्ड स्टडी. यू शुड get to know about that area jitna information mil sake, and then you should start field studies. And lastly, if you guys have any questions, you can definitely ask me.
Hello ma'am. Ma'am, there is one question from my side. मैम अभी रिसेंट का करंट अफेयर है, जैसे छत्तीसगढ़ में एक वाइल्ड लाइफ सेंचुरी है भूमराम देव करके.
हाँ.
डू यू हैव एनी आइडिया अबाउट दैट?
हाँ. रिगार्डिंग
तो मैम भूमराम देव वाइल्ड लाइफ सेंचुरी है छत्तीसगढ़ में लोकेटेड. तो वहां पे जो था जो पहली गवर्नमेंट थी, इस रमन सिंह की जो पहली गवर्नमेंट थी, तो उन्होंने भूमराम देव को टाइगर रिजर्वायर कन्वर्ट करने के लिए वो पास किया था. उसका जो ये था रिजोल्यूशन वो पास किया था. बट अभी न्यू जो गवर्नमेंट आई है भूपेश बंगाल की, जो करंट गवर्नमेंट है, उन्होंने जो है भूमराम देव वाइल्ड लाइफ सेंचुरी को टाइगर रिजर्वायर में कन्वर्ट करने के लिए मना कर दिया है. जबकि एनटीसीए की रिपोर्ट है मैम कि उसको जो है टाइगर रिजर्वायर बनाना चाहिए. और अगर ये भी देखे, अगर छत्तीसगढ़ की टाइगर की भी अगर पॉपुलेशन देखे तो 2014 में 46 टाइगर्स थे एंड 2018 में बस 19 टाइगर्स है वहां पे मैम. तो इसके लिए मैम गवर्नमेंट कोई भी एक्शन नहीं ले रही है, मतलब सेंट्रल की जो कमेटी चाहिए, क्योंकि जैसे स्टेट गवर्नमेंट चेंज हुई तो फिर टाइगर वाला जो पहले सीएम थे उन्होंने तो रिजोल्यूशन पास किया था. देन अभी जो सीएम बना है, न्यू सीएम बने हैं, उन्होंने कैंसिल कर दिया वो रिजोल्यूशन. तो उसके लिए हम क्या कर सकते हैं?
Okay, frankly speaking, it's a very big question, and I frequently have to face this question कि क्या कर सकते हैं. So on that point, I would definitely suggest कि अभी environment के लिए कुछ करना या ऐसे problems के लिए कुछ करना. It's not every time you like कि तलवार लेके खड़े हो जाओ. At your end, what you can do is you can write a letter. You can do an activity like signing a petition. With the help of people around you, you can, with the help of some NGO, with the people who are environmental activists, you can take an activity like signing a petition. And now we have a huge source which we call as a social media. If you must have read कि RA Forest का मुंबई में क्या हुआ था, you know the entire scenario, right?
Yes ma'am.
पढ़ा
Yes
था?
ma'am.
Okay.
Yes ma'am.
So like अपने हाथ में क्या होता है कि यार गवर्नमेंट पे प्रेशर डालो. Now we have open portal in which you can write directly to Mr. Narendra Modi, who is the current Prime Minister of India. You can directly write to him. So at your end or at our end, like students level पे आप क्या कर सकते हो? So you can go through a particular channel. वो कौन सा भी अगर illegal activity करोगे, like writing something which is not right or which is against government on a social media or a social portal, this is not the right way. So you can approach towards the problem through a particular channel. So like signing petition करो, directly प्राइम मिनिस्टर को लिखो,
उन्होंने
या
जो अभी करंट गवर्नमेंट थी मैम वहाँ की, मतलब जो करंट गवर्नमेंट चल रही है सीएम, तो उन्होंने रीजन दिया कि वहाँ की जो बैगास कम्युनिटी करके एक ट्राइबल कम्युनिटी है, तो वो अपना शफल नहीं कर रहे, मतलब म्यूटेट नहीं कर रहे कहीं और जगह, मतलब उनको दे रही है गवर्नमेंट, बट वो वहां से मूव नहीं करना चाह रहे वो जगह से। तो उसके लिए जो गवर्नमेंट है, पहली जो थी बोराम देव वाइल्ड लाइफ सेंचुरी, और उसको जो एनटीसीए ने भी रिपोर्ट दी थी कि इसको मतलब वाइल्ड लाइफ सेंचुरी करना चाहिए करके, तो अभी उसको रिप्लेस कर दे रहे हैं अपना गुरुदास वाइल्ड लाइफ सेंचुरी से, कि उसको टाइगर रिजर्वायर बनाएंगे करके।
अच्छा,
ऐसा हो रहा है।
Okay, so it's a very big question. Frankly speaking, it's a very big question and debatable question. Like questions like these, sometimes we also found ourselves self helpless कि यार इतना सब कुछ दिया फिर भी इंचार्ज वो लोग है, जो डिसीजन लेना है वो डिसीजन वही लेंगे। And we have
टाइगर पॉपुलेशन भी बहुत कम हुआ है ना, पहले 46 था 2014 में, और 2018 में वो बस 19 है, 46 से 19 में आ गया मैम, बस 4 साल के अंदर पॉपुलेशन टाइगर का छत्तीसगढ़ का।
have you crossed it? What is the reason behind it?
मैम क्योंकि वही है ना कि वाइल्ड लाइफ सेंचुरी जो है उसको टाइगर रिजर्वायर का ये नहीं मिला है उनको, कोई जैसा टाइगर रिजर्वायर किसी को अपन ये कर देते, घोषित हो जाता है टाइगर रिजर्वायर, तो उसको स्पेशल प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट आ जाता है मैम वहां पे।
But the reduction of number is because of tiger poaching or something else? Do you have any records of that?
नो मैम, बेसिकली तो वाइल्ड लाइफ डिस्ट्रक्शन ही है उसका रीजन।
Hunting and wildlife destruction.
Okay, hunting and wildlife destructions. Okay, so definitely through some particular channel you can approach that, but frankly speaking, I don't have much experience working in tiger field and how you approach uh, uh, approach to government for this issue, frankly speaking. But yes, I can definitely say, because I was a part of some kind of activity, I was a part of RA forest का जो issue हुआ, तो तब हमने ऐसा ही किया था कि signing a petition, it's a big activity, and with that you can create a pressure on the government. But ultimately the decision is of central government and we cannot hamper that decision. That's the ultimate fact. That's the reality of India currently. Sadly, we have to accept.
वही रीजन हो रहा है, मतलब बेसिक अगर क्वेश्चन बोलूं तो ऐसा हो जा रहा है कि जैसा ह्यूमंस का अगर कोई राइट वॉयलेट होता है तो उसके लिए नीति आयोग, ह्यूमन राइट कमीशन होता है, जो कि पुलिस को क्वेश्चन करेगा कि आपने ये सब क्यों किया, ऐसा वगैरह। और ये वाइल्ड लाइफ वगैरह जो है कम्युनिटी, वो एनटीसीए देखती है, तो एनटीसीए ने तो रिपोर्ट दे दी है वो गवर्नमेंट को छत्तीसगढ़ की, आप बना दो इसको अपना वाइल्ड लाइफ, अपना टाइगर रिजर्वायर, बट तब भी वो वहां की गवर्नमेंट एक्सेप्ट नहीं कर रही है उसको। ऐसा हो रहा है।
Okay, frankly speaking, ये अगर क्वेश्चन का प्रॉपरली आंसर दूं तो वो आंसर ना बिल्कुल ही पॉलिटिकल वे से हो जाएगा, frankly speaking. But so frankly speaking, मैं हर बार मुझे ये क्वेश्चन किया जाता है और हर बार मेरा आंसर यही होता है कि at some point in India, the environmental activist and the wildlife researcher, and this is the fact, we are helpless. And we are trying to find our position, and we are trying to find that particular authority who will respect our decision, who will respect our reports. And this is the sad reality which we cannot avoid.
Yes, the ministers are also not educated. That's the main problem.
Yeah. That so we can say. Okay, any other questions regarding field research? You wanted to know something?
Ma'am, which equipment do you carry that time?
At what time?
Apparatus during your field research.
Which field research? The marine one or the forest one?
Forest one, ma'am. Owl.
Okay, owl one. I used to carry field equipments like binoculars. तो होते थे. So binoculars, when you are doing a bird research or forest research, you must have binoculars. You must have small sample bags. We use the Ziploc one bags. So for the collection of pellets, we have labels to write down the date of collection and the location of collection. Pen field diary. Forceps are important because we are not allowed to touch that pellet directly because it's highly acidic. Forceps we used to have. We used to have a magnifying glass. Then yeah, that is what required for field collection regarding owl pellets.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Binoculars, magnification glass, for forceps, different types of forceps, Ziploc bags, and labels.
Okay,
The
ma'am. Thank you.
field ka saman. Any other questions you have?
So, I think students, they do not have any other questions or queries regarding
Hello, ma'am. Hello,
the
ma'am.
topic. Yes,
Yes.
Aniket.
Yes, ma'am. I have one question. Ma'am, it
Just
is
a minute. Just a minute. There is a echo, so I'm not able to hear you properly.
okay, ma'am.
So
Yes, ma'am.
yeah.
Ma'am, it is evident that you have achieved great feat in life, and so there are several students who wish to become like you. So I would like to ask that what advice would you give to them, that how should they study and how should they work so that they can pursue the same career that you have and be successful?
Okay. Okay. Good question at the ending note. So I was going to say, the first thing you should do is, being a zoology student, it's not only that you have to study from the books. You always have to explore the other thing, your surrounding. Do not stop traveling. Do not stop roaming around. When you start doing your biodiversity and wildlife study, or when you wish to study the biodiversity or wildlife, you have to know what is in your surrounding, your house surrounding, your city surrounding, your area surroundings. What type of plants do you have surrounding your building, surrounding your house? Is that plant native? Is that plant endemic? Is that plant alien? You should know. What type of birds I can found in my surrounding? What type of habitats, different types of habitat which I have in my surrounding? What type of habitat do I have near my house? कौन से habitat में मैं रह रही हूँ? Urbanized habitat है या village वाला habitat है? ये habitat का type मुझे पता होना चाहिए. So do not stop exploring anything. That's what I definitely say. Do not stop observing. Why? ये पूछना कभी मत छोड़ना. ठीक है, ये एनिमल यहाँ रहता है, ये खाता है, क्यों खाता है, क्या होता है खाने के बाद? Why that animal prefers that particular type of grass? Why that animal do not prefer that particular type of grass? Regarding any animal, you can ask this question to yourself, to anybody who is able to give you the answer, or you can always definitely Google anything. Google is a huge library, but make sure when you Google anything, you source that information from a proper channelized source. Wikipedia is a not source for any type of research. Wikipedia पे कोई भी आके लिख सकता है. It's an open library. It's an open website. So अगर आपको कोई रेफरेंस चाहिए तो प्रॉपर किसी रिसर्च पेपर से लो, प्रॉपर किसी सर्टिफाइड जर्नल से लो, या किसी ऐसे आदमी से पूछो, या किसी ऐसे प्रोफेसर से पूछो जिन्होंने उस पे काम किया है. So you can always approach anybody who has worked in that field. Okay, and frankly speaking, working in this field, there is no age limit. So even when I teach in my college in Thane, one of my student is 52 years old. He is a retired engineer from USA. He is my student. So there is no age limit for working in this field. You can start anytime. But अगर करना है तो दिल से करो, हॉबी के लिए मत करो. That is my suggestion to you. Doing research is not a hobby. Doing research, that means you're 100% doing the efforts. अगर as a hobby करना है तो wildlife photography करो. Though it's not a small branch, or though it's not a hobby thing, but करना है तो ऐसा कुछ करो जिसमें आपको 100% देना ना हो, 100% effort या 100% time देना ना हो. The research is field that in which you have to give your 100% dedication. So yes, the main three things are: do not stop observing, do not stop exploring, and do not stop asking questions. Why? क्यों? ऐसा कैसे? और तो खुद का खुद आंसर ढूंढना, that is the only key. खुद का खुद आंसर ढूंढो. That is how the research works. You cannot always dependent on anybody else or any website to find your answer. Sometimes you have to go on a field, you have to find your answer. That's it. Anything?
We have a question from Apeksha Kothe. She's asking which parameters are used when you're recording animal behavior.
Just a minute. Which parameters are used when you are recording what?
Animal behavior.
Animal behavior. Okay. So it depends on you what parameters you have to study firstly. So animal behavior can include the habitat behavior, the food behavior, definitely. Sorry, habitat behavior, food behavior, territorial behavior you can study. Then another thing is mating behavior you can study. How they find their mate, how they fight for their mate, how the display features they show when they when they want to attract attract their mate. Especially this behavior is particularly in bird studies. To attract male shows different type of colors, the interesting attractive colors. In case of animals like elephants, rhinoceros, hippopotamus, they show their energy. They fight with another male. In lions also, they fight with another male. And the most powerful male, female, we select most powerful male. So yes, again, the territorial fights you can study. The nesting behavior you can study. Where they construct the nest, when they construct the nest, how the nest is constructed, the period of nesting construction. So there are multiple factors in animal behavior study. In case of marine mammals, in case of ocean animals, their migratory behavior. Also in case of birds and animals, their migratory behaviors you can study. Sorry. Again, if the marine animal is dependent on coral, so which coral do they prefer to live in, to feed on? Again, which type of water they prefer to live in? That is again the interesting factor. Again, उसके बाद animal behavior में prey predator का जो relation होता है, that you can study in animal behaviors. There are multiple aspects of animal behavior. Any idea to save Ajni forest? Again, जो अभी हमने discuss किया tigers का, is the same thing. The only thing you can do is at your end is plant different trees. But while planting the trees, you should check what species you are going to plant. Is that species native? Is that species invasive? Is that species endemic? So at your end, find a place and start planting the trees. Even a small effort you can put in, even if you are not part of this biodiversity branch, अगर आपके सामने कोई ऐसी एक्टिविटी हो रही हो which is harmful for the environment, like अगर कोई प्लास्टिक फेंक रहा हो in a normal water source, अगर कोई लकड़ियां जला रहा हो, burning the plastic or something, you can always ask them to stop. Okay, that is what you can do at your end. A very small activities can lead to a big change. So you can always do that. I think now the questions are finished. Okay, so I just wanted to thank you. A very big thanks to principal of the college, vice principal of the college, head of the department of zoology, in charge of environmental cell, and the sir, Nikhil Balande sir, who gave me this opportunity to speak with you, and all the students who hear me very calmly and quietly. So thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, madam. Your thought-provoking address has set a perfect platform needed to spread awareness about wildlife. It was indeed a visual treat as you have taken us to the world of your first-hand experiences working with wild, making your delivery so engaging and alive by showing us amazing video of turtle hatchling. And the way you have covered the topic shows the expertise knowledge. Ma'am, I'm sure your illustrated talk would definitely kindle the young aspiring minds to get into wildlife research. Thank you once again, ma'am. Moving to the conclusion of this talk, I request Mr. Sandeep Tamnewar to propose the vote of thanks.
Thank you, ma'am. A very good afternoon to all of you. All on behalf of Sri Mathuradas Mohta College of Science, today is World Wildlife Day organized by Department of Zoology and Environmental Protection Cell is celebrated with the full enthusiasm. I thanks Honorable Principal Dr. Jeevan Duntulwar sir for his grateful and valuable guidance. I also thanks Honorable Vice Principal Reena Shah ma'am for her guidance. Our program have been enlightened by our guest speaker, Miss Vaishnavi Kulkarni ma'am. I thanks for her informative speech. We are very thankful for their enormous cooperation and hard work for the successfully engaging program. Our respected HOD, Dr. Sonpurat ma'am, Department of Zoology. I thanks all members of Environmental Protection Cell for organizing the program successfully and their grateful hard efforts to make the day. Again, I thanks to all for sparing your valuable time with us and engage the day with your grateful thoughts. Thank you very much.